What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Pacific Gamers Club podcast. It's been a while, but we're back again because there was a shit ton of news the past 2 weeks with PS5 getting its own event, and the pre-orders going live, and what a mess that was. Then the Xbox pre-orders also went live, and then I think this is one of the biggest news is Xbox buying Bethesda and getting all of their studios and all of their IPs. Like, so much to talk about. I'm joined today with by Ravi and Nathan. Noah couldn't be here with us, so hopefully he'll be with us in a future episode. We'll go over the news, all the details, and then we just discuss, give our opinions and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for joining us. As always, if you like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and then share our videos around. That would help a lot. We do this for fun, but it also feels good if you're getting a lot of feedback and getting into with the community. In any case, we'll just jump right into the PS5. Oh, before we start, actually, have you guys been playing anything interesting this week? Anything you guys want to share?
Hi everybody, it's Ravi. I've been, you know me, I'm a Destiny 2 player, so I've been on Destiny 2 grinding, getting ready for Beyond Light in November. Other games I've been playing, I think I was playing Among Us. That was a fun game. Got a bunch of gang, made a group on Discord. It was pretty fun. It's, I don't know. Do you want me to describe about the game? Or
Among Us is just one of those games that suddenly gains popularity.
It's very popular.
Just like a few weeks ago, everyone was all about Fall Guys. Everyone was, and now everyone's about Among Us, and it's crazy how. And Among Us, by the way, came out 2 or 3 years ago, but it just got popular with the streaming crowd right now. So, Among Us is how many players? 8 players? Is it 10?
In the lobby, I think you can have 10 players.
Okay. So it's just 10 players, and then these players have to do tasks, mini games basically, right? And then 2 players are imposters, and they can murder other teammates. And then even all I can say, this game breeds paranoia and lying.
It brings out the true natures of each person. If you know they're friends, if they're close friends, but then you see how they lie. Who can lie the best.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, and the developers actually came out, I think, a few days ago, and that said they have canceled Among Us 2. And then now they're just gonna focus on this game, because that's probably the smartest thing to do since it's so popular right now.
Yeah, true.
So it's a fun game, and it's on the most interesting. It's also on mobile phones, smartphones.
Oh yeah, it's free on mobile.
Yeah, so I think it's $5 US on Steam. Yes. So if you want it on a PC, so yeah, I haven't played it yet, but once I take a break from Hades, I'll probably jump in as well.
Yeah.
For me, I've been playing the Mafia Definitive Edition, the Mafia remake of the 2002 game. I played the first couple of 5 or 6 chapters. Oh, it's it's so faithful. It looks good. I played the first Mafia game back in 2005. I think I was in class 4, and I love that game. And it told such a beautiful story, a tragic story, and that was one of the games with Max Payne that I kept talking about. That was so important when I was growing up. And from what I can tell, they did a really good job. They added extra story in there, but the only complaint I might have is that it has a new voice cast. So I remember the original cast so fondly, so it's getting used to the new cast. But otherwise, the game plays fine. It doesn't have any of the open world, you open up your map, there's a bunch of question marks everywhere. It's they made this 1930s Chicago type city called the City of Lost Heaven. But the world is just a backdrop, you don't have like open world activities. The story is very linear. It's a narrative story about Thomas Angelo, who's the main character, getting getting into the mafia family. So if you haven't checked that out, I really recommend it. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and the remake seems to be doing just that too. So and another game I've been playing is Hades by Supergiant Games. Hades is like a dungeon crawler roguelike. And it's roguelikes are basically you play a game, you die, and then you start over, but you keep getting stronger with every run. And honestly, if I start talking about Hades, I could talk like 4 or 5 hours without stopping. I want to just check back on the review. It's highly reviewed, like high praise all around. It's a fantastic game by Supergiant. Yeah, just look up a review, man, and you'll see whatever you want, like everything you need to see. So yeah, anyway, all the the big news you're actually here to listen to is probably about the PS5 and the event they had recently on the 16th or the 17th of September. And we got the price, we got the date we're going to get the console, and the games we're going to be getting on the consoles. So moving over to you guys, did you guys see the event? I know Nathan did. Nathan was with us on the reaction. Ravi, did you see the event?
Yes, I saw the event. I didn't join you guys for that, but I was like lying in bed watching with my phone.
What did you
So
think
it was
of
a
it?
pretty, yeah. I was like waiting, like, what is the price? They introduced the price for the console very late during the
Very
segment thing.
late. Yeah, I was hoping they showed earlier. What about you, Nathan? What did you, I know you were watching with your friends. What did you and your friends think about it?
Yeah, I mean, for some of them, like they're just getting into like gaming in the sense of like like keeping up with like what's new and everything. And so like it was interesting to see like their take on like the games. I think um like it was really presented well. Like they were watching it and like just some good comments about like oh wow, this looks great and stuff, like even though like some of the games were like sort of new to them and stuff, but like like I feel like especially here in Fiji, people aren't keeping an eye out for like these events, and because they miss out, like they kind of like lose out on a big side of like decision making when it comes to like buying the next generation of consoles and stuff. But I think it's safe to say that here in Fiji, like most people are already on PlayStation ecosystem, so it's
Mm.
kind of just a easy move from like PS4 to PS5. And so yeah.
As for the event, the event was pretty much straightforward. They showed a bunch of games. Then the only different thing they showed was the PlayStation Plus collection that has like a collection of big PS4 titles that are gonna be on the PS5 on launch. So if you're a PS Plus subscriber, you can get games like Bloodborne, God of War, Battlefield 1, most of them exclusives uh, on day one on when you get a PS5. And yeah, they, as Ravi said, they showed the price. So like they literally left it at the end to show the price and the date of the consoles, and pretty much showed nothing else about the consoles too, which is pretty disappointing. Before the show, me and Ravi were talking about like we don't even know what the UI looks like. Like what
Yeah,
does the PlayStation Store look like? I know, like what does the
I bet they
menu look
just,
like?
yeah, Mac, I think they're just sitting and just like, hey, are we finalized with the price? Are you sure? Okay, you sure? Okay, ready? Okay, thumbs up. Okay.
I mean that's a
Like
good point.
how it's going
Yeah,
right now with
that's a good point that Ravi's making, because Xbox revealed their price just a week before this event, and Sony came out 3 or 4 days later and like, well, we're doing our own event. The Xbox didn't even have the Xbox didn't even have an event. The prices leaked online, and they
Hmm.
just did like they just put the prices up on Twitter when they released the, actually sorry, Xbox Series S got leaked with the price, and then Xbox had to like damage control the PR. So they were like, what? Here's the Xbox Series S. It exists for
Hmm.
$300, and here's the Series X. Fuck with the names, man.
The little puppets.
And the X is $500, the premium console. So yeah, so they released the prices online, and then Sony did their event with the price. All this is coming in September, people. Like we're just like 2 months, less than 2 months away from the console launches now. The PS5 launches November 12th, and the Xbox Series X and the S launch November 10th. So just 2 days apart. They're gonna be really close to each other. And yeah, it's man, they were playing chicken for so long, and then we suddenly got this event. We still haven't seen anybody having the console sitting on the desk with the controller in hand and playing the game on the screen for both
That is
consoles.
correct.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
think there's a sorry, the Xbox Series X one.
Yeah,
Uh,
the Xbox.
the news outlets have the console. What I'm just playing is like watching somebody in real time playing it.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like footage hasn't been shown or anything like that. Just
But the Xbox that the other streamers that they got, it's just a model of the thing, right? Not the whole.
That was
complete-
last week, just for the size. This week, news outlets actually have the full functioning console in their hands. Like
Oh, okay.
they can they probably can't say anything for like next month or late next month, but
Mhm.
they were able to say that they have the actual consoles working with them, so they'll be
Right.
probably running some games on them, and doing the when the NDA goes up, then they can like push out their impressions and stuff on it. As
Right.
for PS5, no, I think Travis Scott, the artist, posted him with the controller on his lap on Instagram last night, and that's all we got.
Travis got that bloody.
So as for the consoles being out in the world, that's all we have. And the PS5, of course. PS5, the disc version costs $500, and the digital version without a disc drive costs $400. So now that we have the prices, how do we feel about the prices? You guys have any opinions?
For the prices for the game themselves, they said $70.
Yes.
I was a bit like, what? Like, because from PS4 60 to PS5 70 game prices, I wasn't happy with that one.
So the $60 price tag has been the same for like 18 years. And there was a lot of conversation even back in 2015. Like I remember when The Witcher 3 came out, there was a lot of conversation going around why doesn't The Witcher 3 game, which is so big, so huge, cost $70, right? Because games are getting more expensive to make. The budgets went from $30 million, $50 million back from the 2000s to $100 million to $200 million. Big teams, bigger, more resources, more marketing. So games are getting more expensive, and this $70 thing was coming soon. And now it's just gonna be the thing. I think it's always gonna be, if you're paying more money for games, is always going to be like you never want to pay more money for anything, but you give it 3 to 4 years, and just like everything else, it's just like the $1,000 smartphones, the $1,200 graphics cards. like it's gonna suck, but it'll become the norm sooner or later, just slowly but surely. Rest assured, though, there is some friction with how Xbox is going to be charging for games, and how PlayStation is going to be charging for games. At the end of the day, it's always up to the publishers. Like for example, Bungie, since they're themselves now, let's just, for example, use Destiny 3 as an example. They could come out and just say, you know what, we're selling Destiny 3 for $60 US, and that's their choice. Like Xbox, no, PlayStation can say no, you have to sell it for 70. Like probably they could, but like ultimately it's up to the publishers on how much they want to charge for the games. For example, taking Hades is a $30 game. Miles Morales, the Spider-Man Miles Morales, is $50. And I'm all talking on American currency here, by the way. because don't know how much product's gonna charge for them locally. So yeah, it's Demon Souls is the first game they like actually showed, and we got the price. It's going to be 70 USD. I think I'm gonna be okay with 70 US dollars if you don't put bloody microtransactions. If
I was about to say that.
if microtransactions die and you just pay $70 just to get a game without bullshit, uh, you know, uh, extras in there, like because if you haven't noticed, like they're already doing it with these deluxe editions. Deluxe editions usually cost between 70 to $80, and you get like, oh, you got some skins in there or an extra weapon. These items are not worth the 10 to 20 extra bucks, but they put them in there because they have to sell, they have to sell it as high as possible. So for example, so if they're putting $70 and all these other extra in-game items disappear, then it's fine. But if it's not and it just gets worse, oof, I don't know. I don't know. I hope it doesn't come to that. So yeah, and Xbox hasn't given up prices on their games. I mean, Xbox still pushing Game Pass so hard. They're like pushing Game Pass so hard, and with the news that we're gonna be talking about later on, the Xbox buying Bethesda, that's even this like, and a lot of rumors were saying that, or reports, I'm not really sure on that one, that Microsoft bought Bethesda to actually bolster their Game Pass collection, the library, which is insane because they bought ZeniMax Media, the parent company, ex-parent company of Bethesda, I would say, for $7.5 billion. Crazy, right? Like it's like next gen is coming at such an uncertain time, and it's gonna
Like
be
like you wake up and see this big title, Microsoft buys Bethesda, it's 7.5 billion. I'm like, wait, is that okay, what? Is that that's like the biggest surprise of this year.
I read this news. Like 4 a.m. I was gaming and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to sleep, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm finally, because it's like timing here. I was like, oh fuck it, finally I'm feeling sleepy. I'm just gonna go rest. And then my phone gets a notification, and I was like, I was up because of the trying to get a pre-order for the 3080 cards. So I get a notification. I was like, oh shit, did it restock? I take out my phone and nope, it's Xbox announcing they just bought Bethesda, and
Oh,
I, who was sleepy, woke the fuck up like holy shit. And I think I ended up sleeping like 6 a.m. like because I couldn't go to sleep because I was just online like going through everyone's thoughts on the oh, this is big. Like, and
big, yeah.
I'm talking big as in not just like a big, like not just Microsoft throwing a big wad of cash around, but now Xbox has some of the biggest RPG studios, Western RPG studios, and they have one of the best shooters developers on the market, which is ID Software. Leaving the main Bethesda studios aside, like Bethesda studios were really getting shitty, Fallout 76, Wolfenstein Youngblood, all these like bad games with really bad business decisions. So
Right.
like Xbox buying Bethesda is honestly, I feel is like a saving grace. Like they really needed it because I was really worried about Bethesda. Nathan is being like being in the Xbox camp. I'm not sure if you're very familiar with Bethesda games. What did you think about it?
Um, yeah, I think for them buying, yeah, was it ZeniMax?
Yeah, ZeniMax Media. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad, like, yeah, they finally starting to, make use of like, because I mean, I think we talked about it as well. Like, these guys have the potential, and the spending power to, like make, Xbox, or at least the next gen, like bigger than what the current gen is. And so, like, them doing this, I think it really is heading in the right direction. And so, like, I think one thing now is with them buying ZeniMax, like all these games that come under like all the different companies, they're also available, if I'm correct, on PC Game Pass. And so like
Yeah.
so for most of the third party games, as far as I know, they don't normally port over to the Microsoft Store because like they're on Steam and like all the different yeah, like PC applications. But at least now, for PC Game Pass users, this is a bit of a plus as well.
Oh,
So
definitely. I
yeah.
like like all these games, all these IPs. So I'll just run over through the studios and the IPs and the games the studios have made and what Xbox has purchased with the 7.5 billion, right? So the studios they acquired is Bethesda Softworks. These guys do the Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, and Fallout games. These guys are the Bethesda's like big. Oh wait, Bethesda Softworks, sorry, is the publisher. Bethesda Game Studios is the development studio. The Softworks is the publisher that used to publish all the Bethesda games. So under the Bethesda Softworks publishing banner comes ID Software. I mean, these guys make Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, a
Mhm.
big get. And these are not just they're not just buying the studios and the IPs, they also get access to the engines these studios use. Like ID Tech engine for Doom is insane. So for example, now Xbox has this engine that they can use and that other studios can use to make their games, which is like insane. They don't have to go through a licensing, royalties. So a lot of resources explaining the $7.5 billion. Then they have ZeniMax Online Studios. From what I understand, ZeniMax Online Studios does the Elder Scrolls Online game. I think
Hmm.
that's what they do, which is also a lot of, yeah, they do the Elder Scrolls Online. So that's what they do. So money is over there. Arcane and Tango Gameworks. And Tango
So
Gameworks
Arcane has
is
been
for the
doing the
Evil
Dishonored
Within
games.
and Evil Within 2, which by the way I play Evil Within 2, one of my favorite games, fantastic horror. Arcane is Dishonored and the Deathloop game, which is also a PS exclusive. And then Tango Gameworks did the Evil Within, and they're doing the new Ghostwire Tokyo. That's like a first-person horror that is also a PlayStation exclusive, which is kind of weird now that Xbox bought them, but these two will be PS exclusives when they come out. But I think it's just like a limited time kind of thing, the 1 year exclusive, like Final Fantasy VII is the remake. Anyway, so then they have the studio Alpha Dog and then Roundhouse Studios. I'm not sure what Alpha Dog does. I think it's like a supporting studio. And the Roundhouse Studios, let me just check what they do real quick. Uh, I see. They used to be Human Head Studios, so they're also just like like a supporting studio for the main Bethesda studios. So yeah, so they have franchises like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Wolfenstein, Doom, Machine. Sorry, Wolfenstein is made by Machine Games. So like they have Prey, Quake, Starfield. Starfield is the big Bethesda software game that is supposed to be coming out, and there's like a lot of conversations like, are these games going to be coming out on the PS5 or they're gonna go exclusive? Because as Ravi said, right, let's say PS5 is going to sell. It's going to sell a lot of millions of consoles. So does like making a big game like Starfield an exclusive hurt Xbox? If Xbox puts that Starfield on the PS5 for $70, that's $70, a lot of revenue coming in to Xbox, right? And then you put the game on Game Pass, and then it also makes the Xbox look much more, a safer bet if you want to play these games. So
More appealing.
yeah. So if I'm just like a PlayStation user, right? I don't have a PC and I don't have an Xbox. I just play on PlayStation, and I'm like, I'm paying $70 for Starfield, but if I had an Xbox, I'll just be paying the $10 a month,
Hmm.
and I could be playing Starfield right now, and all the other Xbox exclusives they're gonna be dropping from all these other studios. It's like
True.
it's something to think
Yeah.
about, right? It's like the future of gaming is so uncertain. Like you don't know what's going to work. Like maybe Xbox
Mm.
strategy is gonna work, or if Sony sticks to the guns, it's crazy. It's crazy. This whole story is like crazy. They just Bethesda has like 2,300 people in employment, so all of those employees are gonna be moving to Microsoft. Yeah. And then as Nathan said, like Microsoft is huge. It's big. Microsoft is bigger than Sony. Like Sony can go out and buy a studio for $6.5 billion. They just cannot. So like they,
7.5.
Yeah,
yeah,
I read something just the other day where some crazy numbers like Microsoft has about 157 billion on cash on hand, whereas with Sony it's something like less than 50 billion,
yeah.
So definitely a big gap in terms of like the resources that they can just throw around.
I mean, like even that Microsoft has so much money, I was still surprised, man. $7.5 billion is a lot of money. It's 3 million more than what Disney paid for Star Wars. Star Wars is like four billion
Yeah.
something. So it's one of the I think it's the second largest video game acquisition. I think the first one was Tencent bought some company for so like 8 billion or something. Uh, the value is there, like Fallout is big, Elder Scrolls is big. um while I'm like I like Bethesda's games, I like their other studios games much more better, like Doom Eternal, Evil Within, Wolfenstein. Those titles stand out more to me. I'm excited to see what Bethesda's Starfield does. I'm not really like, I mean, Bethesda's weird, man. They get away with a lot of shit. So I'm hoping like Xbox now coming in, it's like Xbox. Phil Spencer said that, and Pete Hines from Bethesda said that these two companies are going to exist separately. They're still under the Xbox banner, but they'll be running their company as they always have been. But they usually always say that any company that ever gets bought by another big company is like, hey guys, like we're still the same. Like when Facebook bought Oculus, and they're like, oh, like don't worry about it. Like we're still the same. We're still our separate thing. And then just like a couple of months ago, they were like, okay, to use an Oculus device, you need to have a Facebook account. Otherwise, you can't use it. So things are said when an acquisition happens. So, we'll see. I actually do hope Xbox does have some influence into Bethesda, because Bethesda, the way they've been running the company, was getting really shitty. And I'm not sure if that was because of ZeniMax, them telling Bethesda to make these microtransaction filled games. Hopefully now, since they have some security, they can focus on just making like proper AAA games like Sony has been dishing out for so long. And with these acquisitions, I think Xbox now has 25 in-house studios.
Yeah, that's a crazy number.
That is a
Very
crazy
good.
number. So for example, Ravi, if 5 of these studios over the next 5 years release the games, you'll have 5 Xbox exclusives a year for the next 5
Dang.
years.
All right.
Playable on Game Pass from day one.
Yeah.
So,
And on PC, Game Pass PC as well. So they're not just gonna be making money off the people who just have their consoles, but the millions and millions of people who have PCs at home. So this is going to pay off for them big time. Like, it's going to pay off for them big time. because you don't only make money of games, you make money of merchandise, you make money of partnership deals, you make money of movies and TV shows, comics, whatever it is. So yeah, it's crazy news. And the Xbox, Microsoft was so smart, they dropped this news a day before the Xbox pre-orders went live.
Oh
Like
shit!
they're like,
Smart,
hey,
yeah.
yeah, they're like, hey, you need another reason? Here it is, order a console. And I think
My God.
the yeah, if I didn't have a PC, I'd be kind of panicking. Like if I didn't have a PC, I'd be looking at the Series S and thinking like, you know what, maybe I should get an S as well. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's the big news. Like, you guys got anything more to say? Cause, oof.
Well, I haven't bought Xbox Pass this year, but I know definitely I'm gonna buy it very soon. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And I'm not sure if there's that little workaround. So Mac and I have done it. I don't know if it's still, if you're still able to do it. Where, how does it go again, Mac? Where you buy
Oh,
like a year or
okay.
more
I think
of
it's
your
still,
Xbox
yeah.
Live Gold, and then you can sort of upgrade that the amount of time that you have bought for your Xbox Live Gold will be upgraded to Game Pass. Where if you're subscribing just for either PC or Xbox only or the Ultimate, you'll get it for like the remaining time of your Xbox Live
So
Gold. So,
it's just for Ultimate.
oh,
The
it's only
upgrade.
for Ultimate.
It's only for Ultimate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's sort of an easy way to save money. It's a big spend, like upfront, but
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like the long run, you kind of like save. I think for you, Mac, like you calculated how much would you end up saving? Like 180 US or something like that? Some
Okay,
crazy number.
so just to give the numbers straight up front, the deal is, I think still is, if so one thing to understand is what Game Pass is, right? Game Pass is a collect, like think of it as Netflix of for games. You have a huge library of games in Game Pass, and every new exclusive Xbox game comes day and date on this service. The service is $10. Now they've, since the beta is done for PC, so Game Pass for PC and and the Xbox console is $10 USD, right? And that
Sorry, I thought PC only is something like $6,
no,
if I'm correct.
it was
If
$5. They bumped it up to $10.
okay, okay.
So there was a crazy deal if it was for $5 on PC, man. So now the ultimate is, if you get the ultimate, you get Xbox Live, that is like PlayStation Plus. You get Xbox Game Pass for consoles, and you get Xbox Game Pass for PC. So obviously, if you're just playing on PC, the ultimate might not make sense for you, right? Because you don't have an Xbox console. But the way this deal works is, if you can go buy 3 years of Xbox Gold Live, and Xbox Gold Live is $60 USD for 1 year. Now you buy three, and that's going to cost you like $180, right, for 3 years of Xbox Live. So if you've never subscribed to Xbox Ultimate Game Pass Ultimate, you can subscribe for $1, and that $1 will turn the 3 years of Xbox Live into 3 years of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is $15 a month. So do your math, and like what Nathan said, it's you'll be saving a crazy amount of money, and you'll be getting a shit ton of games over the next course of 3 years. And when your ultimate eventually expires, just cancel and then sub at the $10 level. It's
So
what
I
I
just
did. Yeah.
so I just crunched in the numbers for the 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will be saving about 360 US dollars in the 3 year like run if you're doing the 3 years.
For
But
you
if
mean
you're doing
like if you just paid for ultimate, you'd be paying a lot more for the 3 years. Is what you
yes,
mean?
yes, for 3 years of Ultimate, you would ultimately be paying 540 USD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in total, you're only spending 181 USD, which is like, yeah, if you think about it in terms of like buying actual games, that's like three brand new games, standard
Yeah.
edition, if
So
you
yeah,
think about it.
like Ravi, if you're buying $60 games, right? Three games,
Mm.
60 bucks, you pay 180 anyway. So as I said, 25 studios all making games, five, like
All right.
let's say 5 games, exclusive games, and this is not counting third-party games that come on to the Game Pass.
Mm.
Uh, you'll be like, you'll essentially be getting 2 games free for like, I mean, sorry, not 2 games. I mean,
Five or
free,
more, yeah.
22 games is what I wanted to say. Like just 22 exclusives free for the 3 years.
That's pretty good.
It's insane. Yeah, I've played so many games on Game Pass. I've like games I never really wanted to play. Like I played Search 2, like the games that once they come out you don't buy. And if you're moving into this service, like for example, like for folks living in Fiji, this might seem so annoying. Streaming services, you're getting lag, download speeds. But if you really think about it, in the future, when like if internet infrastructure improves, like I hear that fiber is coming in parts of the west, in like Latoka and stuff. Imagine just,
Suva as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
so imagine you're just going to pay $20, of course, when you convert currency, when you change currency, $10 US is going to be $20 FJD. But for this $20, you'll have a whole library of games you can play, and you don't have to worry about paying around 180. And it's like with the new games costing $70, you'll be paying even more now just to get games shipped into the country and then getting it into your hands. Another interesting thing that Xbox is doing is, and I hope Sony also adopts, is so you can like preload games you don't even own. For example, Ravi, you wanna get Destiny 3. Basically, you wanna get Destiny 3, but you're getting a disc copy. You can
Mm.
just download the game on your console, and whenever you get the disc, you plug it in, you can start
It's
playing.
ready to go. Wow, that's
Oh,
pretty impressive.
Yeah, right. So once
especially in
you,
this day and age where like you have updates that are like, can even go up to like 50 gigs. So
Mhm.
exactly. So like you plug in your card, Black Ops 50 GB update day one patch, right? But in
Yeah.
that case, oh, you know what? Oh, I'm getting a disc version. So when you wanna sell it off, trade it in if you don't like it or whatever, whatever your reason is, you get your
Mm.
disc version. You can just download the everything, the patch, the game, everything. You just plug in your disc. It unlocks your version, and then you just start playing.
I have a question about the. I don't know. Since we don't know how the PS5 and nobody's gotten, like for the PS4 when you use the disc, you know how the PS4 goes full airplane mode with the sound. I was trying to research like for the new PS5, is it super quiet with the disc or?
So Ravi, the PS5 is the biggest console probably in existence.
yeah,
Mm.
It is
the biggest in
huge.
any compared to any
Yeah,
console, in
it is
fact.
like massive, and there were plenty of reports coming in, like long ago, when this console were going into manufacturing, that they were saying that Sony was really concerned and really adamant that like you don't get the PS4 jet noise engine noise. So I think
Yeah,
it
I
because of
read about that as well.
and because of that, I think that's why the console is huge, and that's why the
Okay.
console design is a bit weird. But I think they had a cooling. The engineers had a cooling design, and then
Mm.
they had to build a console around it. So one thing I'm very certain of is I could like bet actual money on it that
Mm.
the console is going to be really super quiet because
Okay.
yeah,
Because when the PlayStation 4 limited edition came out, Mac, you owned one, right?
yeah, the 500 million edition.
But you notice the difference with that? Like, was it super quiet compared to the normal?
When it came out, when I was playing the games that came out with the console, It was quieter than the one I had previously, but then Sony released a new version of the consoles. Just like not like a new SKU, but I mean a new SKU, but not like a special edition or anything. Just because internally they keep tweaking little things with new
Right.
manufacturing. So they installed a newer fan in the newer consoles SKUs, and that was even much more quieter. But and I, it's just still loud. It's just I have my PS5 under my desk here. So I keep it away from my monitors as like
So did you say
like
you have a PS5 under your desk?
PS4.
Where's
Oh
PS5?
shit! Man, these names should just call it PlayStation something else, code name. Anyway, I mean,
It's so bad.
I have a PS4 under my desk, and I try to keep it as far away from me as possible. And because it's so loud, like sometimes when I'm on my bed and I try to use my other monitor in front of my bed to play, it still is like I can just hear it on the side, and it's so annoying. Like can't escape it. You turn on the volume, you still can't escape it. I always have to wear my headphones to escape the noise.
True.
Because when Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, oh my god, loud, man! It's so loud. I really liked when the Xbox One X, when they released the all the specs and the details, they actually went with liquid cooling. Like Ravi, we use liquid cooling for our CPUs. They're
Right.
using a liquid cooling solution for the console, and I looked at some videos and everything. Man, so quiet, like can barely hear anything. And this console, by the way, was doing like native 4K for Red Dead Redemption 2 and stuff, like native 4K. So for some reason they went back to the fan solution for the Series X and the S. Probably saves a lot of money because that SSD costing a lot in manufacturing.
Okay, I have another I've been researching on PlayStation 5. So the HDMI cable, it's called a 2.1, right? Did you read on it?
Mm-hmm.
But Sony said that it still work on your with 2.0 cables, right?
It's just like future proofing, like
Okay.
like a USB 2.0 will work with your USB 3.0, but it just you won't get the speeds that a USB 3.0 cable can provide. So what HDMI 2.1 is, if you have a HDMI, it's honestly it's not even about the console, it's about your TV, the 2.1.
Right. Yeah.
If you have
I was like, well, my TV is okay, right?
So Nathan, sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, so with the like I think like a little feature sort of gimmick that both these next gen consoles are saying is that you can do 8K gaming, right? And so like with 8K, I know it's laughable, but like you will be able with the HDMI 2.1 to actually do that. So I don't know if you have recently seen the 3090. They just I think Linus and
with the 30,000 TV.
yeah, with the 30 grand TV, 8K TV, which allows you to game at that. And so HDMI 2.0, 2.1 allows you to do it. I think in terms of numbers, the a HDMI 2.1 cable and port does transfers up to 48 gigabits per second, whereas HDMI 2.1 is something like 16, so yeah, in terms of like being able to game, HDMI 2.1 can allow you to game at 4K 120 frames and 4K 60. So yes, on HDMI 2.0 you can't do I think you can only go 4K at 60.
Yeah. So for example, Ravi, I like my if I had a 4K TV in here, right? More importantly,
well, you do have a 4K TV.
no. More importantly, there's very few. I think there's just like a couple of TVs that actually support HDMI 2.1 as of right now. One of them is the more famous LG OLED C10 that just came out, and also the Sony, I think it's A9, that is like the PlayStation 5 ready TV that also has a HDMI 2.1 port. So these TVs are also very expensive and also very limited. That's the first thing, right? Most of these people, they're going to be buying these consoles, they just have a regular 4K TV with a 2.0 HDMI cable. Like for example, if I have I have a 4K monitor, right? It's not a TV. I have a monitor, so it connects with the DP cable. It doesn't matter even if I had a 4K cable. If I had a LG C10 to HDMI 2.1 anything, right? I still won't be able to use my RTX 2080 because the RTX 20 series cards, they just have the HDMI 2.0. So if my TV could do like 120 hertz, still won't be able to hit it. I think the HDMI 2.1 is much more important for the graphics cards that are going to be coming out rather than the consoles, because I doubt any games on the PS5 will be able to hit 4K at 120 hertz. They might be able to do 1080 at 120 hertz for sure on older games. Like I think Devil May Cry 5, the special edition they announced, they said that they will be able to do 120 hertz, but as for the resolution, they weren't really clear on. So no, don't be worried about the HDMI stuff. Like whatever TV you got, your console is going to work as long as it has a HDMI port on the TV. This is just for future proofing. It's like Nathan said, those gimmicky words, 8K, 120 frames. None of that shit's gonna work. It will in the future. One day we will get where 8K is the 4K as we have it right now. But it's like the Xbox Series S, right? They said like, oh, this is a 1440p console that's gonna be not gonna be 4K, it's cheaper. But sooner or later, that even that 1444, the 1440p resolution gimmick that Xbox is putting is also just like a gimmick. Those consoles will just be running games at 1080p, because every year there's gonna be a massive game like Cyberpunk. There's gonna be a massive game every year that's gonna like squeeze everything it has out of these consoles, and in the next 4 years, these new next gen consoles are gonna become old, and they'll be just moving and moving and moving. Like I bought my 2080 1 year ago, and my card is going to become it has become irrelevant already, and it's still a great card. I'm pretty sure like somebody out there will happily take my card for free because it's better than whatever they have. But the point is
1,000 something.
the point is like, technology is always going to be improving. There's always going to be HDMI 3.1, 4.1 in the next 10 years. Who the hell knows? 8K, 4K, 16K. And if you want 8K gaming, is like this guy's mentioned, just buy the 30 grand TV and you're set. For
30 grand TV, PG dollars.
30 grand TV and 1,500 3090 to go with it.
So as you're saying, Ravi, like the PS5 features, like compared to the Xbox and the PS5, they're doing different things, different features. Like as I said, the Xbox, like preloading games you don't own, and like for the PS5 having like the dual sense controllers, haptic feedback, 3D audio.
Right.
Like how much people will take use of these features is always, how many times do you use the touchpad in how many games? It's usually the exclusives that take most advantage of these features.
So do you guys actually like use like because I mean I've played on PS for like maybe Call of Duty and Apex, but haven't really played any other games on that. But like, is there any other use for like the touchpad, or like where you can even like fully utilize it?
it varies from games to
Like
games. Like
like Last of Us 2, right? Mac had you can use the touch for something. I forgot what.
so what?
Do you
What game?
remember? For Last of Us 2, there was a touch feature for that.
Oh, yeah, the touch for the guitar.
Yeah, guitar.
For Ghost of Tsushima, every direction you swipe is basically four buttons, like four buttons tied to the touchpad. Witcher 3 was one of the first games that actually I really liked. Was like you swipe one way, it opens the map. You swipe one way, it opens your inventory. You swipe down, it opens like your journal. Like
Right.
the touchpad is actually a lot of buttons just in one big button. But usually in most games, it used to occupy the select button from the PS3, PS2 times. You know,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
that it's like the options button or the on the Xbox controller. What is this button? Like the one with the uh
You know, the funny thing is,
the
like,
options thing.
when I refer to a lot of the buttons on my Xbox controller, I still use like the PlayStation ones because that's what I grew up with. Yeah, so I'm like, oh,
Right.
start button, select,
Yeah,
but that's not
exactly. Like
exactly what it's called.
it doesn't matter. Like you even get like the Nintendo third party controllers, whatever. It's all the same
Right.
buttons. Even Nintendo did the thing, right? They have the like the two buttons here, home and
Oh yeah, yeah.
same
Screenshot
thing.
button and yeah.
Same. I don't. All controllers should be universal. Doesn't matter. Did you see the Xbox? The Xbox. Sorry, not the Xbox. My bad. The Amazon controller, the Amazon Luna
Oh
service.
yeah, yeah. I saw it in the morning.
It looks like the
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch Pro.
Right, right.
The Pro.
Yeah, I was looking at I had to like they have the logo for Amazon or something, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the home button basically for
Home
Amazon.
button. Yeah. But the look of it looks so like I was
So
like, wait, is
similar.
that a Nintendo Switch controller? I'm like,
Uh,
Amazon, what?
did you see this one, Nathan? The Amazon Luna service?
um, I think like not like I haven't really looked into it. Maybe just give me a rundown of what
Okay,
exactly.
sure. So Amazon Luna is Amazon, the company,
Right.
cloud like xCloud, the streaming gaming service.
Okay.
So
Oh,
it
interesting.
is not like Google Stadia. I don't know how Google Stadia is still alive. Instead of Google Stadia's, you buy the game on Google Stadia. Amazon Luna is a service that is going to have a collection of games. So you pay monthly and you can just stream these games. And they also came out with their controller. I think Amazon Luna
Wow.
costs
Okay.
$7. Let me just
Mm.
fact check that.
So basically, oh, okay. So yes, for another thing with Game Pass is just this month, right? What, maybe 2 weeks ago, Xbox officially launched their game streaming service as well. XCloud, no longer in the beta version, but technically still is, has been officially launched in select countries. I think it's only 22 countries for now. So yeah, I think basically what this is, right, is just a rival to that. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I think Amazon actually is one of the top, if not the top, cloud-based services.
Oh, of
A
course,
lot of
yeah.
companies use them before Netflix started off on their own. I think they used to store all their content on Amazon-based service,
Mhm.
something like that.
So more information about Amazon Luna, right? So Amazon Luna, I think the biggest difference between as Nathan mentioned xCloud is only available for only mobile devices, is only available at Android devices. Amazon Luna is actually going to be available on iOS. So
Really?
all Apple devices and all on all their Amazon devices, like Amazon Fire TV, like Amazon TVs, stuff like that, and also your PC. Uh,
That's
Amazon Luna,
interesting.
yeah, that is really interesting. Amazon Luna is also going to cost $6 per month, and it's going to be streaming at 1080p at 60, and they said that 4K streaming is in development still.
Why
So
does it
What?
look so similar
How many
to
games do they have
regular?
on the
sorry, but
like on the library? Sorry.
Ravi, what did you say,
I
Ravi?
guess yeah.
No, I was like looking at this article and I was wondering why does it look so similar to Stata's like play stream, like you can stream games while
Yeah,
using the control.
it's
I think it exactly is that.
it just
But
is. It
instead
is
of
just Stadia.
paying, yeah, I think Stadia's model was like bad decision making. Like you
Mhm,
actually had to, so you pay for the subscription, right?
mhm.
And at the same time you have to buy the games, which was like kind of
Ah,
ridiculous.
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So
So not even that. The Google Stadia was so convoluted, Ravi. They were offering a subscription, but if you get the subscription, then you get the option of playing games in 4K, right? The 4K
Mhm,
streaming. But if you want just the free, you just have to buy the controller, right? Again, like
right.
you gotta buy the controller, and then the Stadia service is free, but you have to buy the games. So, for
Mm,
example, you want to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for example, you have to go to Google Stadia and then pay the $60 to get the game, and then you have to stream it and make
yeah.
sure your internet works properly. And streaming
right.
streaming is very unreliable, right? Your net can crash.
So when it like first month it was out, I was like, man, this is not gonna work. This is like, you know,
I mean, it was dead on arrival. It had a poor launch. It had problem getting games to come onto the service. Sorry, Nathan, you were asking me the games on Amazon Luna, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Like
from
how
what
much in the library so
from
far?
what I can see, they said it's around 100 games, and the games I saw, some of the big games were like Control, uh, Abzu. These are like many indie games. Honestly, I just see Control as the big title.
I see game says they include Resident Evil 7,
7, yeah,
Con-
Search 2.
Control, Dragoon, adventure games like Plague Tale, Innocence, and The Surge 2, platformers like Yoki, Laylee, and the
Ukulele, yeah.
Impossible
So
Lair.
these are just a few games that Ravi is mentioning. Amazon claims that there will be more than 100 games available on the platform in total at full launch.
When is launch, by the way?
Yeah, just I'm trying to. I didn't
Doesn't
mention.
say when's the full launch.
Okay, so I guess for now it's just announced that this is a new service coming from Amazon, and I guess over time, like we'll find out more information. And
Okay. It is actually right now. It's in early access, and you can request to get invited through Amazon.com/Luna if you want to take part. So
Uh,
it's sort of like how
is there
XCloud
is there
was.
anything about like Prime users get like first?
mhm.
That's usually like I see I know Amazon they do a lot of this like so that people can get on their
Whoa,
Prime
but
service.
but you make a good point. If they, for example, they bundle this in with Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is what Amazon Prime is. It gives you free shipping from Amazon if you're living in the States. It gives you free access to their Amazon Prime Video, where the boys and a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. It's just like Netflix, basically. It's all bundled in. And you also get like Twitch benefits too, since Amazon owns Twitch as well. So if that is, if they bundle it with Prime, that's like a massive deal. I mean, this service alone, you don't even bring xCloud into it, is a Stadia killer. Like
Yep,
this
for sure.
Amazon Luna is just basically outright going to kill Stadia, and I'm pretty sure the people at Google are probably sweating. So this joins Xbox xCloud, right? Google Stadia, and then the NVIDIA's GeForce Now, that is also a streaming service provided by NVIDIA. Oof. But I think the pricing works. It's like $6 $6 a month, people don't probably won't think about. And for people that are invested in the Amazon's ecosystem, just like people are invested with Xbox, xCloud, like they'll be fine. The thing with Google was like, who's tied to Google? Like, is there any person out there who uses Google products? We all use Google products, but are like a fan base of Google, you know?
Honestly, I don't know anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't know anyone. And people when they say Android, I don't like, even when I say Android, I rarely think of Google. I just
Yeah.
think of Android. So, and yes, you said this is interesting because Luna is coming to Apple devices, is because Xbox's xCloud, it wasn't allowed on Apple devices, so it makes
Yeah,
them
I'm I'm
makes me
I'm
think.
interested. Yeah. So in case you guys aren't aware of the reasoning behind that, right? From what I've read, is that Apple has their own policies when it comes to rating games, right? And so
Money.
um,
They have their own
yeah,
money policies.
yeah, and so like with the at the moment, like with Xbox, they use the what standard is that, the ESRB or whatever, like for
Ratings,
rating
yeah.
their games, yeah. And so that's pretty much international, right? And the fact that these guys, Apple, isn't going with that, they want their own rating system for these games, like Microsoft is sort of like up in arms with this, like that decision where it's like, this is an international standard of rating where,
even even
why can't
even
you
that
guys
even
just.
that's complicated, because ESRB is actually primarily based, it was like stateside, like United States, but under this ESRB, it states under like for PEGI 18, like you probably heard it, PEGI 16. This these are for European, like PEGI is for PEGI is for European gaming ratings, and then Australia has their own ratings board, like it's internationally. ESRB is just for United States, and PEGI is for European countries, their rating board, and Australia has their own. So it's even a much more convoluted mess with how Apple is like even more exclusive and inclusive with how they're like doing, their own ratings. It's so confusing, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. It would be interesting to find out, like,
Oh,
how they're
it's
actually
money.
dealing with that for, like, with
Oh, it's just money.
Amazon.
It's just money. Amazon paid a shitload of money to Apple, and Apple was like, okay, you can put your service on our end. It was just money. It's just like how Epic and the Apple thing happened. It was just money. Hey, we want more money. You don't want to give us money? Okay, get the fuck out of here. like a mafia boss would say, huh?
And sorry, I think maybe one more thing to add to the Game Pass news, right? I think they're partnering up with the EA Access.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like the games that are
Gee.
available with that. I mean, yeah, EA, it's like, yeah, like,
And I'm pretty sure people who are listening are not very, you see Xbox, you hear PS5, or maybe you're just primarily a PC player, like these things don't matter to you. Let me say this, and I'm not like like, I'm more of a PlayStation fanboy. Like, I've played PlayStation for my whole life, but let me say that I say this: I use my PC as my primary gaming, platform. Xbox Game Pass is still a massive, massive value if you're on PC. You get, like as Nathan said, for the EA access thing, you get access EA games with the Game Pass, and like, I want to note that EA was charging for this subscription service on their own. So I don't know what kind of magic Xbox used to get EA to basically throw up their service to Xbox, that people on PC and Xbox can be like, yeah, I actually subscribed to the EA Access Premier subscription before when Anthem came out, because I wanted to see how it works and everything. So if I got back I got back the money I paid for with the games I played, but it wasn't as big of a value as the Game Pass was. So EA Access is basically not quite like what Xbox does, because Xbox puts their new releases day one on the service. EA was more like their old games, and with the new games coming, you have like a trial version of it. That's what EA Access is. And if you pay the premier subscription that's only available on PC, then you get the EA games on release day. But it's important to note EA's release has been so scattered. Like besides a sports game, what's the last big EA release that you guys know about? Like Battlefield's not coming out anytime soon, right? Their Star Wars Squadron is coming out, but it's a smaller game. Like I think the biggest game the last I can think of from EA was the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That's like the last big EA game I know about. Besides the sports games, of course. I know you FIFA guys buy it every year. So, yeah, not to beat on a dead horse or anything. Just saying, like, like going into the new gen is going to be really new. Like literally, it's like pun intended. It's like it's going to be very new and fresh, and it's gonna be scary for, because as we said, this 500 USD back home in Fiji, that's like looking at 1,100 Fijian dollars, excluding shipping, excluding whatever bullshit duty you might get charged. It is expensive, and when you're buying a PlayStation 5, you want to know that your future is okay. If you feel like depends on what kind of gamers you are. Like some people just buy a PlayStation 5 just to buy FIFA every year. And in that case, you're safe. You will get your FIFA. Your console will work. But if you're like a guy who buys many games, you're really into online games. You like buying the PlayStation exclusive games. Like value is different for everyone. Somebody values things differently. So like going into the new generation, it's like you don't want to buy a console and then like 1 year into it and you're like, oh shit, I made a mistake. You never want to be that guy ever. Like you buy a PS5 to play your Apex Legends or you play your EA games, and suddenly Xbox like, oh, we just bought EA, all their games are exclusive now. I'm like, oh shit. Like that sounds like if you told me like Xbox about to buy EA, I would laugh in your face. But since they just bought Bethesda, if you tell me tomorrow, I'll be like, like there's a possibility they could buy EA. Like, could you imagine? It's crazy times, man. Hey guys, sorry for the abrupt cut there at the end. The thing was the video went a lot longer than I planned to, so what I had to do was essentially cut it in half, and the rest of the recording I'm going to edit and publish shortly after this video. It has us talking more about PS5 news, or actually more specifically the games that were shown in the PS5 event, because we sort of went like all over the place in this video. So yeah, I just had to cut it out. That video will be on shortly. So in any case, thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Get the word out there. I love doing this in my free time with my friends. And thanks to Nathan and Ravi for joining me, talking about video games, things we love, and having just fun with it. Yeah, man, thanks for sticking all the way here. Also like you can get this video on audio as well after I publish it on many things, and all the links are down in the description. You can get it on like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those places, wherever you like to listen, whatever is easy for you. So if you don't want to watch the video for like 1 hour long videos, you can just listen to it on audio. That helps me out a lot too. Just get it wherever is easy for you. Want to make it simple. Yep, thanks for joining me, and keep a heads up for the episode. It's gonna be the post show that's gonna be up shortly as well. Yeah, so thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.